Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. One historic night in Vancouver and a scoreline literally nobody saw coming. Today, we're going to break down the anatomy of an absolute blowout, how Canada completely redefined Group B and systematically demolished Qatar 6-0. Picture this, 52,000. That's the number of roaring fans packed inside the stadium. 52,000 people who witnessed Canada not just beat Qatar, but, man, completely bury them. You can just imagine that electric home crowd energy feeding right into the historic onslaught we saw on the pitch.
Part 1. Setting the historic stage for Group B, Match Day 2.
Part 2. The early onslaught, also known as the opening punch.
So, setting the scene, Canada stepped onto the pitch absolutely desperate for their first ever World Cup win, while Qatar, they were actually riding pretty high off a gritty point against Switzerland. But wow, Canada's opening punch was just swift and brutal. Right at minute 16, Cyle Larin finds his moment and pokes the ball home from close range. And they didn't even stop to catch their breath. Just 13 minutes later, Jonathan David connects with this gorgeous right-footed volley. I mean, the noise in that stadium was absolutely deafening. The pressure was suffocating. And guys, we weren't even at halftime yet.
Part 3. Discipline and disaster. The turning point.
And this right here is where Qatar completely unraveled. First, the absolute turning point of the match. Minute 33, VAR steps in. A Qatari defender brings down Tanguy Buchanan just outside the box. And yep, it's a straight red card. Now down to 10 men, Canada instantly smells blood in the water. Into first half stoppage time, Jonathan David taps it into an empty net to make it 3-0. But then it inexplicably goes from bad to worse. 8 minutes into the second half, a totally reckless tackle results in a second red card. Tragically, this one leaves Canada's Ismaël Koné stretchered off the field. So suddenly, Qatar is trying to survive the rest of this match with just 9 men.
Part 4. Opening the floodgates.
9 men and absolutely no answers. With a 2-man advantage, it essentially became a men versus boys scenario out there. The floodgates completely opened up. Saliba steps up and bends this beautiful free kick right around the wall to make it 4-0. Then that relentless Canadian pressure forces an incredibly unlucky own goal off a Qatari defender, 5-0. And to cap the whole shebang off in stoppage time, Jonathan David finds the back of the net again to complete a brilliant historic hat trick, 6-0. The continuous waves of offense literally just gave Qatar nowhere to hide.
Part 5. Complete statistical dominance. Because hey, the numbers don't lie.
This wasn't just a lucky break. Honestly, it wasn't even close to being a contest. Take a look at this. Canada peppered the net with an astonishing 33 shots, putting 11 of those directly on target. Qatar, completely crippled by those red cards, had zero platform to create any offense whatsoever. I mean, they managed only 2 shots all night. And 0 on target. 0! It was an undeniable masterclass in total Canadian control. To put that into perspective, let's look at the expected goals, or XG. The disparity here is just staggering. Canada generated an XG metric of over 4.0. Now contrast that massive number with Qatar's microscopic 0.18. Basically, Canada continuously created highly dangerous scoring opportunities, while Qatar was entirely suffocated in their own half for almost the entire match.
Part 6. Making World Cup history. And why this matters so much.
So what does this all mean? Well, this was a monumental night that sent shockwaves through the entire tournament. First off, this marks the very first World Cup win for Canada after 4 grueling decades of waiting. Let that sink in. Second, this 6-0 victory stands as the largest win by any CONCACAF team in men's World Cup history. And perhaps most impressively on a global scale, Canada just became the first team outside the traditional powerhouses of Europe or South America to score 5 or more goals in a single World Cup match. They waited decades for this exact moment, and they absolutely delivered.
2 red cards, a historic hat trick, a night Vancouver will never, ever forget. The landscape of Group B is completely turned upside down right now. So after witnessing this absolute masterclass, what is your prediction for the next Group B match? Do you think Canada can keep this massive momentum rolling? Drop your predictions in the comments below and definitely stay tuned for more World Cup explainers.